Documentation, or keeping records, is an important part of the work you do as a rehabilitation promoter. We have invited some rehabilitation promoters to share about their experience and why keeping records is important. Also, what are the key points to consider when you're keeping a record? For me, taking notes or documentation is very important because it helps me work with my patient. First, I write the subjective. The importance of the subjective is to write down the information the parents or caregiver of the patients give me. I must write down what the parents report. How is the patient doing? Is, is he or she healthy or sick? Is he getting better or worse? How is he or she behaving at home? What happens at home? Or maybe everything is fine. This helps me to see what activities I can do with my patient. The importance of writing down the objective is to record what I'm doing today with my patient. I write down what activity I did and how many times. This helps me keep track of what I did and know what else I can do with my patient at their next appointment. In the assessment, I must write down how the patient behaved, if we were able to work well, or if she was crying a lot. I write down if she was happy and working well. There are patients that do not follow instructions. So, how did the patient behave with me? These are the things that are important in the assessment. In the plan, I must write down the activities I should change or continue. This reminds me what I should do on the next appointment. If I should continue doing the same activities, or perhaps there are new things. Maybe there's a new plan I should follow with my patient. If I don't write it down, on the next appointment, there might be things I should be doing, but because I don't remember, we don't do them. But if I write them down, I just need to look at my notes before I start working with my patient, and I see what activities I must do with the patient that day. This is the importance of writing down everything that I'm going to do with my patient. The problem with not keeping records is that sometimes, as rehabilitation promoters, we treat many patients. We work with different exercises with each one of the patients, and we can lose the process that is being worked with them or the progress. Also, sometimes we can be doing the same exercises we should no longer be doing instead of using the progression of the exercises. It can also happen that when we don't have a plan, we can forget the diagnosis. Someone might ask us a question and we're not able to give an accurate answer without good documentation. Because of that, it's necessary that we have the notes so we don't perform the same exercises over and over, but advance activities and see the progress and meet the goals of the patient. Why is it important to keep records after each therapy? Well, because it helps me know how my patient is doing that day. If they were sick, or if in previous days they were sick. It also helps me to know whether or not I can have therapy that day. It is also very important to keep records because I must write down why I'm doing the activities. What is the purpose? How I'm doing the activity? And what I'm going to use for each one of the activities with my patients. If my patient is a child, I must know what the parents say. What has a patient been doing and what progress they have seen. And that is why it is important to keep records after each therapy. It also helps me to write down what I observe in each patient. But I think the most important thing about keeping records is to write down what I'm going to do as a plan. What I'm going to do on their next session. I must observe my patient to see what he can do his progress, and in the next therapy, I can change the activities. Keeping a record is very important because it helps me plan activities for my patient.
This video is not intended to be medical advice and should not be used as a substitute for professional diagnosis or treatment. The content is for informational and educational purposes only and is specifically presented for review by individuals already trained by Therapy Clinics International. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider regarding any medical conditions or healthcare concerns.